So from Belgium we go to Switzerland, Zurich, but actually Zurich and Switzerland came to Lithuania, which we very thankful to Maria von Känel, who is a co-founder and general manager of Swiss Rainbow Families Association since 2010, and co-president of the campaign Marriage for All. She also came up with an idea to create a special day to celebrate rainbow families all over the world. The International Family Equality Day, IFED, is an official LGBTIQ+ awareness day, which takes place every first Sunday in May since 2012. Maria is going to speak about Marriage for All campaign, recent same-sex family rights, recognition developments in Switzerland. It will be very interesting having in mind the results of the last referendum. So, Maria, please.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Thank you for the invitation, LGL, the National LGBTIQ Association from Lithuania. And thank you for the Rainbow Families from Lithuania, which have hosted me the last 2 days. And they show me the beauty of Vilnius again, because it's not the first time that I'm here. It's the second time. The first, meeting rainbow families in 2014, thinking about how to create safe spaces. And we did. The Swedish Embassy gifted us safe spaces to celebrate the International Family Equality Day for the first time here in Lithuania. Thanks to all the brave families who came together, and from them, they are building the rainbow families. So now back to Switzerland. Well, a long political process. 8 years ago, there was introduced a Marriage for All bill, which, thanks, and I want to honor our history, because sometimes we forgot from where are we coming and what step has been needed to be here in the present time. So, in Switzerland, the first networks building up a strong community was on the 1930s. And there were 2 brave women. As you know, the identification of lesbian, this construct of sexual orientation or gender identity, the Swiss citizens had to learn as well. So in this case, 2 brave lesbians created the women's club Amicitia. But as well, brave gay men came together and built up the circle. And those organizations were like the first moment of civil society come together and make sure and requesting legal protection as well for their partnership. Why are we now where we are standing now in Switzerland? I think sometimes it's as well need of understanding how can be that a conservative, liberal, and yes, accepting family diversity can come to this conclusion and make sure that this Sunday we approve with 64 citizens marriage equality. What exactly has happened? Legal recognition. I think that was a very important achievement which we had, is that the society recognizes our relationship, that recognizes our love and as a part of society, as man, women. Or family diversity, like we finally got the opportunity to legally recognize rainbow families of same-sex parenting, which has came into force in 2007. All these little steps were necessary to improve increasing the social acceptance. And as minority, we are all different, but we have a lot of common. And I think this is like a key moment of make sure that diversity is the part of empowerment of our society. And starting the dialogue and recognizing this diversity has improvement of mental health for the whole society. And that has something which the civil society has not only fight for, but which the Swiss society has recognized. 7 years, 7 years talking, starting dialogue, and sometimes, as you could see, there was not a starting point when the bill of marriage equality has came into the parliament. The ongoing struggle from same-sex partner started already 80 years ago. And I think that one of the illustrated final election results that 64% of the Swiss citizens voted for the marriage for all was clearly that we finally, we as society came into that point which we could embrace diversity and we recognized same-sex parents. As you know, no, maybe you don't know, but Switzerland has a political system, direct democracy, so that means that when a law comes in force, the population has the opportunity to request a referendum, and that has happened. That has happened because the opponents succeeded to collect more than 59 signatures that they were against the marriage law. And in a direct democracy, this is a legal opportunity for giving a minority the opportunity to raise their voices and to speak out about their concern. And I want to spotlight as well how it can help to spotlight insurance, but as well hate speeches, which I will go afterwards forward, what has happened in the last 3 months when we started with the marriage equality campaign. We were in a very comfortable position that the majority of the political were agreeing in open the marriage, but not only that, in making sure that the children from birth will have 2 legal parents. Because so far, with the step adoption law in 2018, there was a need of step adoption process to protect the children. So with this law, it was not only giving the opportunity to legally recognize marriage and to get all these benefits, it was as well the legislation of the children to make sure that the lived reality has been taken into account. So who was guiding this Yes campaign? We have several LGBTIQ organizations with different obstacles, but as well goals. And as I was introduced, I'm the general manager of Swiss Rainbow Families Association. And the other 5 were spotlighting the gay men's in diversity inclusion of companies, as well the lesbians organizations, but as well gay and bisexual Pink Cross men's organization. When we started, we knew that we have to be present everywhere because we are everywhere. We are in the towns, we are in the cities, smallest village. And that was what we succeed in the last 3 months. When we started the campaign, there were more than 30 regional groups helping us up, starting dialogue with the society, inform about our life and why it was important to get the legal recognition, but as well equal rights. And finally, when we started, we were very supported by other yes quality campaigns. So there were several campaigns with different focus on making sure that the people learn why it was significant and important to vote for inclusion and for same rights. And the difference was that there were some focus on the LGBT community, strengthening, building community. The second, reaching out to the companies, promoting inclusion with the politicians together. And the third was the civil society. And the other part, as I told you, they succeed on get the referendum, the needed collected signature. There were 4 known committees. And all the 4 known committees, finally, the focus where they put was on the protection of family and the children's well-being. And the need of strengthen marriage between man and woman. Here you see some pictures which clearly thematize the arguments which they have visualized. You see some poster which the Swiss society were confronted. They, even if the surrogacy was not at all part of the request, they were starting fear, you know, like such things. Where will we stay if we are supporting children without fatherhood? Where will we stand if we are supporting family without motherhood? Where we will stay if you, as society, want to promote surrogacy. So it started, and I want to spotlight that to have a referendum within the COVID, it has put us in a very difficult situation as well, because how to reach out all and strengthen mobilization. The good news is that more hate speeches were visualized, more hate speeches were seen, or the community was affected because the hate speeches have raised 5 times higher as usual. More commitment, more support we have got, more helpers. And we tried to count how many organizations, how many society and human rights organizations were supporting us. We just can guess that there were more than 8,000 people getting to the streets and making sure that the arguments and the misleading information was correctly given to the civil society and the citizens. So just to let you show as well quickly what was the arguments which we could see that the Swiss citizen agree on marriage equality. So that it was a historic step of equality that promotes acceptance. It's a better protection for families and their children, because Switzerland does recognize the family diversity, and as well a logical further of development of marriage. And the fact that already polls has shown that more than 82% agreed on equal rights for same-sex couples. What was on the other side? What was the fact and arguments which they wanted to bring it up was that the registered partnership was a substitute of marriage, which we completely could show no, it wasn't. It was still discriminatory in more than 20 legal points. Then the access to sperm donation by married female, that was a violation about child's rights of none of their regions. Exactly the contrary was, thanks to the access to sperm adoption, we could make sure that the child has the access of the regions. The children which are growing up in rainbow families, that they are suffering, now there is a long-term dedicated research, more than 50 years almost, which exactly shows that all the children, they are not affecting any negatively fact of having same-sex parents. In contrary, they are seeing a social competence, which is usually a little bit higher than other children. Then marriage equality, pave of the surrogacy, and so on, all the fears. So I think what was the most significant organizations which helped through all this misleading information about what is the best interest of child was the fact that Pro Juventute, the organization of children well-being, which was 100-year-old organization, very well known, from the beginning always advocate next stand by us, telling the society that the best interest for a child is non-discrimination and legal recognition and protection. So that was a very important key. The second one, it was very interesting to see civil society stand up, but as well religions group, clearly the Catholic group of women were standing next to us, requesting the access of sperm donation to make clear that this is the best interest of the child, but as well for the protection for the family. Children, rainbow families, speaking out, telling how they felt, how it was to raise up with rainbow families. Cities, thousands of volunteers, stand-up flyer campaigns. Whatever it was, the people were out, were showing their support. And the mobilization of Zurich Pride and the Geneva Pride, it was the most biggest gathering coming together. So I named before that the challenge was COVID. So in that sentence, we were very lucky that we didn't had not only made sure that the campaign was going social viral, but to make sure that we are reaching out all groups of the society. And what we could observe is the interest of the youth, but as well the older generation. Older generation speaking out about making other people understand why it's necessary to open the marriage equality. Here, so many events through all Switzerland, which has made a movement of inclusion where the people felt welcome And here on Sunday, this is something special which I will show to you right now. To see such a green card and the fact that all cantons agree and say, yes, we want marriage equality for same-sex parents and the legal recognition from the children at birth, it is massively. So I'm pleased, together with other 29 countries, the law will come into force 1st of January 22. Switzerland will be one of the states will open the marriage. Thank you.